Warning, this video contains spoilers for Godzilla vs Kong. If you wish to watch this movie, then watch it and then watch this review, or don't. I don't really care.
It's not that good anyways.
Oh my god!
Hello everyone, Salty Cool Good here. Godzilla vs Kong recently came out, and I didn't really like it. I grew up watching these movies, and I'm a really big fan of Godzilla in general. I love the merchandise, I love all the toys, I love the movies. I'm a huge fan. And when this movie came out, it was honestly disappointing, really. I mean, it had some okay parts, but like, in general, it just really wasn't good. For those who don't know, this is a remake of the original Godzilla vs Kong, which came out 59 years ago. And that version was okay. I actually have that version. So yeah, compared to this movie, compared to this Godzilla vs Kong, I didn't really like this one. This movie, on the other hand, oh boy. I didn't like this movie. And for some reason, I'm alone on this belief. Like, no one disputes this movie as being bad. They all really liked it, which is kind of weird. I would hope this movie would be like the worst one. Even this movie has a higher rating than King of the Monsters does, and King of the Monsters I thought was pretty good. I haven't seen it in a while, so cut me some slack. I gotta rewatch it. I'll probably watch it sometime this week or this weekend. I don't even know. So I just rewatched King of the Monsters. Not bad. I feel like it has the same problem as 2014 though. It didn't really. Every action scene was cut away to like the human characters, but overall it was still decent. Better than this movie, I feel. So in this video, we'll go over why Godzilla vs Kong is bad, and my suggestions on how to fix it. It'll be like the Salty Cool Kid 101 cut or something. Or like the Zach cut, I don't fucking know.
You damn dirty ape!
Kong's containment is just kind of there. No real explanation as to why Kong needs to be contained. I mean, they're on Skull Island. Why does Kong need to be contained if they're on Skull Island in Kong's home?
Does somebody not know how to flush a toilet after they've had a shit?
So this little girl character in Godzilla vs Kong is literally, her backstory is just dumped on us. Like, a straight exposition dump. And it makes it like so hard to connect with this character, because it's about that rule, show don't tell. And they literally just tell us like, oh, a storm wiped out all the civilization. Why couldn't they just show us the storm and Kong saving this little girl to create this connection with the two of the characters? It feels really forced and not genuine at all. It's just like, oh yeah, here's your story. You're supposed to care about her, and it's just straight forced. It feels very weird. The thing is that like a lot of these movies, and it's not just Kong or Godzilla vs Kong. It's just like we can't feel what the characters tell us about. Like, oh, if I'm scared, like, we can't feel that, you know? Like, we have to see it visually. We can't connect with someone who just says something. We gotta say, oh, you know, or whatever. You get the point.
Show me the money.
So this guy, part of the Apex Legends, Apex Cybernetics guy, he comes to this scientist dude. He's like, oh yeah, we need to go to Hollow Earth to find this energy source. And this guy, the doctor, scientist guy, he's like, oh no, we can't go there because the journey's too treacherous. We've already tried it. Again, show don't tell. This scientist guy seems very broken up about his brother, who actually died trying to get to the Hollow Earth. He died like in entry, and gravity kind of smushed him. Why can we see this in the movie? This would add to the amount of trouble and danger this journey would have brought to the character, and why he like just doesn't want to go. He's seen what happened to his brother, but we haven't seen what happened to his brother. So it just creates this confusion. of like, oh, how dangerous is this journey? We don't know.
Have you seen my son?
The dad and daughter characters are just completely pointless. The dad is literally in the movie for like 3 scenes and has no impact on the story whatsoever. And the daughter character is just straight annoying. I don't like her. I'm not a huge fan of Billy Bobby Brown. I liked her in Stranger Things, and in season 1. I liked her in Stranger Things season 1, only because she really didn't talk like at all. But yeah, and there's no development on the dad's character because he's literally in the movie for 3 scenes, and he could literally be out of the movie and it would have no impact on the story at all.
This is about the cringe.
This is a big point in the movie. The writing and the dialogue are just straight awful. Like, some of these scenes are just like unbearable.
My mission, my wheel.
I just don't think.
Tap or no tap?
Did the monkey just talk?
Won't cut it. I need my bleach in bulk.
And it really takes me out of the experience because it makes me feel like this movie appeals to kids. And that is just a huge disappointment because a lot of movies nowadays have a lot of these cringy jokes and this cringy dialogue, and it's super annoying when your favorite franchise, such as this is my Godzilla movie, damn it! Why does it have all this shitty dialogue? It's awful, straight awful, dude. Why do they talk about Bleach? Why this freaking Josh character? He's so stupid and cringe. And this Bernie guy talks like 1,000,000 words a second. I can barely understand him. It's ridiculous. And why is it in my movie?
And right now Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people and we don't know why. So cut your pop.
So this inciting incident really in the movie is Godzilla is going on a rampage and no one really knows why. Later in the movie it's kind of hinted at, but it's never really explained. Why couldn't we get like information about this? It's kind of weird and it just makes it more confusing to me on the audience. As the audience, it's like, why? You know, why is he doing this? And it's never really explained, and it's very aggravating because we don't know why.
When it comes to Kong, what I say goes.
So this Kong handler lady character, I forget her name. It's somewhere in my script, but I'm not at that part yet where I talk about it. There's literally a point in the story where the scientist guy and his brother died, not explained or not shown at all or whatever. She comes to the scientist guy comes to the girl and she's like, oh yeah, let's take Kong to the Hollow Earth and lead him there, see if we can find something. And this lady literally has full jurisdiction of like where to move Kong and how to move Kong. Like literally in King of the Monsters, there was a whole boardroom scene of whether the military should actually be involved with Monarch or handle the Monarch situations. But in this movie, it's just, bam, we're moving Kong. But they literally had to go through so many people, and this lady literally says, okay, let's move Kong. This one lady in charge of this deadly monster that can literally like wipe out a whole freaking city. Just, oh yeah, let's let's move the fucking monster over a gigantic ship and have it, and just, I can't even explain it because it's so fucking ridiculous. It's like, what? One lady.
I don't even know who you are.
The Kong handler lady and the scientist guy, I don't know their fucking names, they have zero development. Now I know Godzilla fans would be like, oh, we don't care about the human characters, they don't matter. We can have characters connected to these monsters, like the Kong handler lady. She's connected to Kong, she's connected to the little girl. Why can't they have some sort of development, you know? Like in the first 2014 film with Serizawa, he was connected with Godzilla, and we got to learn and know more about Godzilla in 2014 and King of the Monsters. He also had a very personal relationship at the end of King of the Monsters. It was honestly pretty cool. we can have human characters that are connected to the monsters in some way, explain more about the monsters, and get to know the monster characters more, and the human characters. We don't have to just have these shells of human characters in these movies. We can have these characters actually do something. And, like, these two have zero development with each other. Why couldn't they have some development? They were used to be partners. Have something like that. Have a connection like that.
If I could take you up in paradise up above.
I personally find the first fight between Godzilla and Kong very boring. The fight is very Godzilla-sided because it's in the water, and like platforms are they just don't really feel like they fit. It feels like it's just like walking on a tightrope. It'd been better if they were in water where they could stand in. That I feel would be even better, because that way Kong could have some leverage, and it would give Godzilla the advantage of water while also giving Kong some footing to stand in.
And today I will be explaining why I just don't like Apex. So
this Apex Legends place is just completely unguarded, and it's just, and again, really, like, they're a cybernetics multi-millionaire company, and they can't guard their stupid facility. Like, these characters, the kid, Josh and Bernie, they literally break into this high security facility with like no trouble at all, and no one's guarding it. It's just completely ridiculous.
What the fuck was that?
Skull crawlers. What's Apex doing with skull crawlers?
How the fuck does she know what that is?
The Earth is flat. No joke. 100% serious.
I really like the Hollow Earth, like actually seeing it for the first time. It's really cool to see all the little critters and all, and like the big monsters, but it's not really like fleshed out in any meaningful way. It's just kind of there. There's no really world building here. It just looks like another area, really. It would have been cool to see other monsters there from like the universe, from the monster universe, and see them interact with the environment or some way, or have like a Jurassic Park kind of vibe, where it's like, oh my god, wow, it's a new world, or something like that. I don't know.
Mega faggot, robo bitch.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you two. Okay, if you don't know, Mechagodzilla is in the movie. I'm going to talk about the design now. I'm going to show you two images from two different movies, or two movies. The one is from Godzilla Vs Kong, and the other is from Ready Player One. Both have Mechagodzilla in them. Now I want you to guess which design you think is from Godzilla Vs Kong. Ready? Go. If you guess the one on the right, you're right. If you guess the one on the left, you're also right, because they almost look the same. It's ridiculous. When I first saw the design, I remember seeing it from Ready Player One. I didn't watch the movie, never seen Ready Player One, but I remember seeing the scene of Mechagodzilla, and I remember him looking similar to the design from Ready Player One. And I looked it up, and coincidence, they really do look similar. And it's like insane how similar they look. They even have the red coloring, dorsal fins. It's actually insane. In terms of design for the new Mechagodzilla, I do like the man-made aesthetic. I do like the body, the hands. I don't like the face though. The face, the face just looks kind of weird. You know, it almost reminds me of Goddard from Jimmy Neutron. Or even my brother was watching this movie with me, and he said, like, he kind of looks like a FNAF character, like the exoskeleton. I couldn't argue with him. It almost does. It's very similar to it. You know, it doesn't really have anything unique about it. When we look at other Mechagodzilla designs, like from like the first ever Mechagodzilla, it's kind of unique. It's kind of foreign because the first Mechagodzilla was an alien creation. And it's weird. It's got that space, or that 1980s space vibe going on, or for the time. I don't even know, like 1950s. I don't freaking know. But it's got that unique design. It's the rotating hands with the missiles on them. that's pretty neat. The next Godzilla is Mechagodzilla 2. That design is very, like, polished. It's very, like, square, very polygonal. And it looks kind of, you know, just symmetrical, and it's got a really neat design. Also, they all have, like, unique roars, which I love, because, like, they distinguishes every one of them. Then we got Mechagodzilla 3, or Kiryu. And Kiryu has a really cool design. I really love Kiryu's design. And it even has an interesting backstory, which we will go in later, because you will not fucking believe this Mechagodzilla's backstory in Godzilla Vs Kong. But Kiryu looks very defined. It looks very like a mechanized version of Godzilla. And it's a very cool design. And they each come with, like, upgrades for Mechagodzilla 1 and 2. It's very interesting. It gives you, like, a good defined version of these monsters. And that's what I love about Godzilla, is the monster design, because it's unlike anything you see nowadays in movies. It's very interesting.
Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
This scene right here with the Skullcrawler and Mechagodzilla has to be my favorite scene of the entire movie.
Release number 10.
I love this scene. It's just so freaking cool what this company is doing. They are breeding these Skullcrawlers to train Mechagodzilla into being, like, the apex predator. Such a neat concept. I just wish we had more time to see and actually see in action this Mechagodzilla training with these Skullcrawlers. And we don't get any of that. You know, and like I said in the past, other Godzilla films did this, and it's just so freaking disappointing, because this scene is so cool, but it could have been done better. What if, like, the employees had, like, bets, or like I don't know, what if they had a giant battle royale with every Skullcrawler and we just saw the freaking Mechagodzilla just straight destroy everything? And it's so cool, and I wish we just saw so much with this Mechagodzilla, because Mechagodzilla is such a creative character. It's so cool to see what, like, Mechagodzilla can do to face off against these giant monsters. It's so freaking awesome. God, I have so many freaking ideas running through my head of how this could have been executed. And it just kind of disappoints me how much we don't see of this movie. You know, it's so little we actually see of Mechagodzilla and other monsters. Their stories and, like, how they interact. It's just kind of weird, and it's just kind of annoying.
That is one big pile of shit.
Completely pointless and stupid to have the King Ghidorah head, or the King Ghidorah skull in there. It really isn't explained, like a lot of things in this film, why it's needed. For those that don't know, they made this, or they used this King Ghidorah skull as, like, a supercomputer, and they used it, like, yeah, it's basically like a supercomputer for no real reason at all. It's kind of just weird. This universe has this technology that is very futuristic. Why can't they just create, like, a giant supercomputer that way? There's no real need to use the King Ghidorah skull, and it just adds more confusion to the overall story in the film. And it's even crazier what's going to come next.
My father gets what he wants.
This Apex Legends daughter guy. I messed that up so bad. But you get the point. This is friggin' daughter. Literally the worst character probably in this film. Besides the kids in this film. Actually, they're all fucking horrible. This is literally the dumbest part of the movie. The girl, like, steals the energy source from Kong's axe, and then she's like, "Oh, my father gets the energy that he wants," and they're leaving, and they shoot Kong with this big ass friggin' vehicle to navigate the Hollow Earth, And it's just so stupid, and it, like, there's literally no need, and she still friggin' shoots Kong, and then it's so expected that she dies by Kong because she shot him. It's so predictable and just outright stupid. I don't understand why, like, she would do this.
Bet, check, turn, fuck!
So, the daughter character grabs the energy from the axe, from this little drone, and then transfers the energy over to Apex, the Apex Legends place, and they recreate the energy from the Hollow Earth. This movie got a 75% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, higher than Pacific Rim. I just shit myself. And this is what drives Mechagodzilla to be the bad guy. Some unknown reason.
A really big fucking hole coming right up.
Godzilla burns a hole straight down to Kong, and Kong comes up and fights Godzilla with the axe. It's kind of weird. It almost reminded me of Independence Day Resurgence. If you ever seen that, that movie, wow, that's a really bad movie. You ever seen that movie? It kind of reminds me of it because it's kind of weird. It's like, really? And then he burns the hole right down to the exact spot where Kong is. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
And I look at this monkey.
So this is the final fight between Godzilla vs Kong, and it is definitely better than the first. Obviously Godzilla kicks Kong's ass, and then Kong kind of dies, and then the people from Hollow Earth, like the scientist lady, not the scientist lady, I always call her scientist lady, the Kong handler lady, the scientist guy, and the little girl, all come up from Hollow Earth and revive him with the vehicle. And, yeah, and then Mechagodzilla comes in. Let's talk about that.
I re-examine my priorities and draw new conclusions.
So, with the stolen energy from Hollow Earth, Mechagodzilla goes batshit crazy and is the villain now for some reason. And this is such a stupid concept. It literally is so forced. It freaking hurts. When I saw this, I was like, oh my god, are you freaking kidding me? Because I literally was just thinking of a way better concept in my head, and I thought, you know, oh my god, this would be insane if this happened, but I was like, when that happened, I was just straight zoned out, honestly. The concept of Mechagodzilla going crazy has been done far better in Mechagodzilla 3 or Kiryu, whereas in Mechagodzilla 3 and Kiryu was built upon the bones of the first Godzilla in the first ever Godzilla movie, and when he went crazy, he got crazy because he heard the roars of the modern Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Tokyo SOS, I believe. Mechagodzilla 3 goes absolutely crazy because it awakens the dead spirit of Godzilla in Mechagodzilla, and that's the reason for Mechagodzilla going on a rampage and destroying everything in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, or Godzilla vs. Kiryu.
I need help here!
So the last fight, or second to last fight I'd say, is between Mechagodzilla and Godzilla, and this fight is probably the best fight between monsters. The best scene would be the Skullcrawler scene, in my opinion, but that's not really a fight. It's Godzilla gets his ass kicked by Mechagodzilla, but as I've said again, like, in this fight, it is so weird to just see all these systems on Mechagodzilla, and, like, they're not really explained, or, like, they weren't really shown to us, so it's kind of weird to see him, like, shoot missiles out of his arm, and he literally straight up flies one moment, in one part of the fight, and it's just kind of, it just feels, very undefined, as I've said before.
You take away my world, I take away yours.
Kong gets revived, and then Kong kills Mechagodzilla with the help of Godzilla in putting aside ancient rivalries between two beasts. They defeat Mechagodzilla. Well, Kong defeats Mechagodzilla, I should say. It's completely ridiculous. And then the movie ends with Kong living in the Hollow Earth as his containment, like a fucking SCP. What a wild ride. This movie was very disappointing. As the last in the MonsterVerse trilogy, this was terrible. It felt all over the place. Characters weren't developed at all. Like, the movie's called Godzilla vs. Kong, right? So why is Kong the protagonist? It should have been called Kong vs. Godzilla, because Kong is the protagonist. We see him throughout the movie. Godzilla's has only like probably like 30-20 minutes of screen time, but Kong has like a whole hour. Half the story is about Kong. It's ridiculous. Why did they call it Kong vs. Godzilla? Why not Godzilla? Why Godzilla vs. Kong? It's very confusing. Like, there were just parts in this film that were done so much better in other films, like other Godzilla films. Take, for instance, a scene when the daughter and the dad meeting up. Dude, Godzilla 2014 did this scene way better. I'll show you right now. Just the emotion the scene from 2014 had compared to the scene in Godzilla vs. Kong is unmatched. Just like the amount of devastation in 2014 is just, it's palpable, honestly. And then they find each other and they meet up. Yeah, say, oh, Godzilla's not a film. It's such a good film all around. Okay, all around. And it's just compared to this film, they find each other. The dad character finds the daughter character, who's in like 4 scenes. It's just like, okay, who cares? No one cares about them. It's insane. Mechagodzilla, Kiryu is so much better, has such a better storyline compared to Mechagodzilla. They are weird. I don't know why they would use bones of other monsters in their designs, but who cares? It's cool. But like the King Ghidorah head was so just unexplained and unnecessary in my opinion. They were just trying to make Mechagodzilla the bad guy, and it just felt super forced and completely unexplained, and just left me really confused. And Mechagodzilla's design, while I said I liked it, it is rather basic. It's like the Halo 4 design debacle, where they kind of look like Power Rangers somewhat, but they look so kind of generic, and that's what I feel about Mechagodzilla design. I wish it had more character to it. Godzilla's monster designs have always been really weird or really wacky designs. Something you wouldn't expect to be a monster is a monster, like a giant crab or a giant piece of sludge. Something, it's weird, wacky, and wild. For example, King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is a Hydra, but it has a solid like gold design, and it can shoot like these gravity beams out its mouth or whatnot. Rodan is a pterodactyl that has like a fire beam attack, and it lives in like a volcano. Not the most unique design or creative, but it's still pretty cool. Mothra is a giant moth, but it looks like a butterfly. Like, Mothra's always had like these beautiful and like abstract designs to match that of a real moth and to intimidate their foes. And it's always been basically like the good guy of the Godzilla universe, which adds a lot of character to Mothra. But in this, it just feels kind of generic in a way. and it looked so similar to Ready Player One's Mechagodzilla. I was honestly surprised when I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute. I had to look it up because I never watched Ready Player One. I've only seen it because I think I was like watching a video of Godzilla or whatever, and I saw it and I was like, huh, that's pretty weird. I don't really like the design of that Mechagodzilla. And I saw it, I was like, wow, it looks so similar to that version. And then something hit me when I was watching this film, and it really just got me thinking. I was like, you know, there's so many similarities between this film and another great film that I've mentioned before that I couldn't believe it. That film is Pacific Rim. Like, they both have characters connected to kaiju traumatically. They both have characters that pilot mechs in very similar ways. And Mechagodzilla even looks a bit familiar. The hands actually look a lot similar to Pacific Rim's Gypsy. Like, if you look right here, they almost look the same. It's kind of funky and weird. Forgot to mention that in past Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla films, or just Mechagodzilla in general, there have been people who pilot Mechagodzilla, but they haven't done it in a way that was similar to Pacific Rim. Because in Pacific Rim, they are giant robots, and they do that link thing where they link with the machine, and it just felt very similar and too close to Pacific Rim. That's why I made this point. But in the end, the difference between Godzilla vs. Kong and Pacific Rim is that Pacific Rim is a better film. But Pacific Rim is for another day. We're here to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. While I thought about the two similarities of Pacific Rim and Godzilla vs. Kong, another thought dawned my mind. What would be the ideal Godzilla vs. Kong? One that would be faithful to the fans and faithful to movie lovers. And I think I got it. Like, my ending is really cool. So here's how I would change/fix Godzilla vs. Kong. It's the Salty Cool Kid 101 cut, ladies and gentlemen. So the first thing is we have a segment on how Kong got to his facility. We have how the facility was built. Maybe even have like a little funny montage where Kong is like wrecking everything that the people building the cage are doing. Oh, well, hey, how goes construction? Oh,
that's pretty good.
Oh my God, is that Kong? Oh my God! No, please don't do this! No! Hello, madam. We are now 70% done. The cage for Kong.
Oh, that's really...
Oh my God! Here it comes again! Oh God, no! You're ruining everything! No! Not there! No!
This time we have Kong under heavy sedation, so you allow us to finish construction.
That's great to hear. Terrific, even. That'll help us speed up production by at least 200%.
Do you need anything else?
Yeah, I need you to sign... Did you hear that? I think... Wait. He's getting up! He's getting up! He's getting up! Oh my God! He's going for it! He's going for it! Again! Oh my God! Come on! That was just a dramatic recreation, but you get the point. And have the scene where Kong saves the little girl. That way we understand what actually happened and how it happened. To build, like, just show us instead of tell us. And add how this Kong handler lady has a connection with the little girl. Maybe add the footage where she finds the little girl somehow. Second, remove the dad characters, literally pointless, and add more character to the wormhole guy, and add the scene where his brother gets killed just to really drive the point home of how severe or how deadly this trip would have been. If we'd seen how deadly it was, then we'd actually like resonate with the character and be like, wow, this might be a daring journey. Maybe he shouldn't take this journey, or maybe something along the lines like that. And add some more character to the wormhole guy because he's pretty boring. They say he's like a coward in one scene.
What you saying?
Just an Iwi expression, it means that you're very brave.
And it doesn't really make sense because he doesn't really display any coward-like emotions or traits. He's always just like kind of there. Doesn't really do much. So I mean, how could you call him a coward? It's weird. I'd add more character or even expand upon him being a coward and then have him have like an arc where he becomes brave or some stupid shit like that, just to give him some growth and actually make him like a full-fledged character. Probably should have been first, but remove every kid from this movie and remove the awful dialogue from some of the characters. Like I said, it's there most likely to appeal to children, which is awful, and I don't want it in any future Godzilla movies. Fourth change would be to add some notion to what Godzilla is chasing or why he's on a rampage. This is a scene where it's hinted at as to why Godzilla is going berserk. Mechagodzilla sort of calls him to fight him, but there's no real reason why they actually need to do this. It's not really explained, like I said, like why Godzilla's on a rampage. I remember Billy Bobby Brown's character saying something like you provoked him, but that's never really fleshed out at all or explained, which is very confusing and stupid. And have the character discuss Godzilla more. The movie's called Godzilla vs Kong, not Kong vs Godzilla. Let's talk more about the creature's origins and Godzilla's origins rather than Kong's. Or we could keep Kong's origins and add Godzilla's origins. So the fifth change would be to have the Kong handler lady have to face a bunch of people for clearance just to move Kong. I felt like that was such a stupid decision to have her have has all the power to move Kong and has all the jurisdiction over him. I felt like she should have faced board meeting after board meeting or person after person just to get Kong's clearance, or have a scene where the wormhole guy and her are like trying to convince people to move Kong. Because like these are deadly creatures and she's just like, okay, and then the next scene they're shipping him on a boat. Like, has no... It's just so stupid to say. Like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. The sixth change would have more development with the Kong handler lady and the doctor wormhole guy. They used to be partners, and they have zero chemistry or development with that, and it just makes these characters so bland. You know, I wish they would talk about something to make us care about them, because we can have good human characters in Godzilla movies, but this is just an example of why we don't want human characters. We need human characters because these monsters cannot talk, they cannot express what they want to express, you know? We need human characters to tell us how these monsters are feeling or what they're doing. Maybe have something along the lines of that with these two characters, or have some connection between them, because I'm tired of seeing such bland characters in Godzilla movies. Especially in fucking King of the Monsters, man. This movie. Seventh change would be to change Godzilla and Kong's first fight. First fight to me is kind of boring. It's like I said, it's very in favor of Godzilla, and I'd like it to where they can both stand in like shallow water and duke it out like that, because it just feels like the first fight really wasn't even a first fight. It was just more of Godzilla just in the water attacking like a giant whale or something, because Kong like couldn't defend himself. It was very boring. Eighth change would be to flesh out the Hollow Earth. Place is very boring, except for some cool little monsters. I loved seeing the little crab guys and like the little mini little raptor guy. I love seeing that. I want to see more of those creatures and like more like world building. Really, it felt the Hollow Earth felt really barren and just boring. Maybe even have like a little Easter eggs of older monsters in there, which shit, that'd be awesome. I remember like the first Godzilla had an Easter egg in the trailer, the first 2014 Godzilla. That had an Easter egg with two Mothra, the little Mothra ladies, and even had a Mothra Easter egg, like Mothra egg Easter egg. It had a Mothra little thing, and that's interesting. I would love to see more of that in the Hollow Earth, or just in general in these movies. Ninth change would be to redesign Mechagodzilla. I like a lot of what this design is going for, the man-made modern Mechagodzilla, but I don't like the dorsal fins, or the face, or the hands and the arms. The face is generic, and the red colors are too similar to Ready Player One, so many ways. And the hands are so from Pacific Rim. I could even pull up a picture right now and show you. Redo that and add some more scenes of them testing Mecha G. That was definitely my favorite part of the whole film, and I'd love to see more of what this Mechagodzilla could do. It didn't really feel defined, as I've said before. It felt like in the fights, it just had a gun there and a missile there, and whenever Godzilla or Kong was attacking him, like, he just had anything for every situation. And the King Ghidorah's skull plot hole was straight stupid. Just rip it out. The storyline was already done way better in Kiryu, aka Mechagodzilla 3, when they used the bones of the first Godzilla to construct Mechagodzilla. It just felt like they needed a way for Mechagodzilla to be the bad guy, and in my case, I wouldn't like Mechagodzilla to be the bad guy. Mechagodzilla was always our defense against Godzilla, and to have him be the bad guy it's just lame, you know, in my opinion. The Kong axe. I like the Kong axe. I feel like it gives Kong some leverage against Godzilla, because Godzilla has an atomic breath attack, and Kong really has nothing. And going into this film, I thought, you know, oh dude, Kong's gonna get shredded, as he almost did in the first King Kong vs. Godzilla, or Godzilla vs. King Kong. But in this film, he actually has some sort of defense system, aka the axe. I would just love to have him use it more. It literally seemed like he used it for one attack, and that was it. Or two. Trailer part, and then when he shoves it into his thigh or whatever. So definitely have him use it more, and show off more of its abilities and stuff like that. The energy plot hole for Mechagodzilla. Now, if you don't know, in the film, Mechagodzilla, when they were testing the Skullcrawler against him, my favorite scene, he runs out of energy. They don't have a viable energy source for Mechagodzilla, which is why they do the journey to the Hollow Earth to find a usable energy source. Now, I do like this subplot. I do like how they had to find a different energy source, but I just felt like I wish it was more fleshed out. And actually made sense. Like, the daughter of the Apex Legends guy dying is so absurd and stupid, and then recreating the stolen energy is so idiotic. It's unbelievable. I actually wanted to talk about one of the characters for Godzilla vs. Kong, as I haven't really talked about much about the characters. I don't really see much changing in a lot of them, but I do see a lot of change in the pilot for Mechagodzilla. The pilot hasn't really... he actually dies in the next scene we're about to talk about, and I felt there was such a wasted potential, really, with this character. This character dies in such a stupid way that I thought I'd write at least a little bit of a better story for him. So, in my opinion, or in my Salty Golden 101 cut, I would develop his character so that he's afraid of losing himself in the Mechagodzilla, like, King Ghidorah's skull. You know, maybe he's talking to his boss, he says something like, "I'm afraid of losing myself in that machine. It talks to me, it says things that terrify me." Maybe when he's testing it out, the brain of the King Ghidorah is transferred to him or something. He goes crazy, takes control of Mechagodzilla in like a John Wick style or something, just straight shoots people, kills like everybody, takes control of Mechagodzilla, and then wreaks havoc. That is actually like insane. I actually love that concept. I just came up with that. That's the one way, or I actually have something else. He loses himself by the King Ghidorah brain, and then like have him brain dead after they pull him from Mechagodzilla. His fear is truly realized, and he's just like in a mental hospital or something, in a psych ward, just sitting there at the end of the movie or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I thought of this character. I felt he was super like underused, and I felt like, man, there could have been so much more in his character, but there's just not. They didn't add much to his character. I didn't even know his name. I don't even think I even wrote his name out of my script. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't write his name. I had to look up his name to find it. Alright, back to the changes I'd make to this film. So the 12th change would be the final fight with Kong and Godzilla. This is going to be pretty crazy, so just hear me out on this. So we play it out like normal, and Mechagodzilla comes in the fray. I'd still have him fighting for us, because that's my personal favorite Mechagodzilla. And on the human side, so Kong's incapacitated by Godzilla, right? Godzilla's fighting Mechagodzilla, and he's getting destroyed as always, or as usual. Not as usual, but in the film. The humans revive Kong, and then the little girl tells Kong that your enemy is not Godzilla, but Mecha G, like in the movie. But since she lied to him in the one part with the wormhole and said your family's down there, Kong didn't find any of his family. He doesn't believe her. He goes, turn the page of script. He goes and incapacitates Mecha G. Not dead though. Kong then kills Godzilla, and then Kong screams in victory of slaying both those. But then Mechagodzilla comes back online, grabs Kong, and does the Skullcrawler finisher on him, and cuts Kong straight in half. Mechagodzilla powers down, leaving all three monsters technically dead. That would be sick. So now that all the creatures are dead, Godzilla and Kong are dead, and Mechagodzilla is deactivated, every one of the human characters are safe and sound. They made it. They played out their usual roles. The little girl hates the Kong lady now, the Kong handler lady, because she was the one that agreed to the wormhole guy's suggestion to take Kong, and then she runs away from them. And then it would make sense for the Kong handler lady to hate the wormhole guy, but I wouldn't like that, or I would have something different. I would have them team up in some way, and then go on to the next film or something. But then we have after credits, because this movie did not have an after credits scene, and that's what really pissed me off. So after that starts playing, or after that's done playing out, we have the after credits scene. And now that everybody's dead and Mechagodzilla was successful in its mission, we would have more Mechagodzillas put into production to protect humanity. And we could even bring back some old designs like Mechagodzilla 2 or 1 or even Kiryu, maybe remake them or redesign them in a modern sense to have some variety and have them there for our protection. But then we would go back to the hollowed earth, and since Kong powered his axe with like the radiation from the ground or whatever, a door opens up and more Kongs exit out of a door in the hollowed earth, and we would see that his kind was there after all, but the door didn't open up fast enough, or Kong died before he could see any of his other kind. Hypothetically, when Kong killed Godzilla let out a death cry, and that went down to the hollowed earth, and more Godzillas would be seen swimming around in the hollowed earth waters, and then be seen rising up. They would like shoot atomic breath or whatever, different colors, and this would cite a coming war between the leftover Kongs and then the leftover Godzillas in the hollowed earth. And then, we're not even done, in the distant landscapes of the hollow earth, creatures are seen flying above the clouds. A hand reaches up and grabs one. A returning monster is shown. In the background, other older monsters are shown living in somewhat harmony. They hear the cries of Godzilla and the blast from other Godzillas in the distance. They also hear some cries from Kongs, because the Kongs have been released. They look at it and wonder. This would set up the next film, Godzilla War for Hollow Earth. That sounds so fucking cool. I couldn't believe when I fucking came up with that, dude. That was insane. I was like, dude, that's it. That's it. That's fucking it. Could you imagine this? This is the kind of potential that I saw while I was watching this film, and it honestly saddens me to see this is what we got. This is how much freaking care I have for the franchise and for Godzilla, that I would think of this and wonder, man, this is where they're going to do with the franchise, you know? But no, unfortunately, just another cash cow pretty much, as the movie's made over like $358 million. It's 3 out of 10, it's bad! In the end, I hated this movie, and I love Godzilla. And it sucks that this is the end of this trilogy, which makes me even hate this movie even more. The fighting scenes are cool, but when the story and the characters aren't developed or thought out, the action scenes are frivolous and feel empty. If I had to rate this movie out of 10, I would give it a 3, because the dialogue was cringy, characters were non-existent, and it just felt like there was so much more that could have been. And I love Godzilla. Monster movies are one of my favorite types of movies, and to see a film like this with technology nowadays is honestly annoying and disappointing. So yeah, that's my review. Yeah. Hey everyone, Salty Cookit here. Wow, I didn't expect this video to be at least 50 minutes, almost an hour. I just want to say thank you if you watched the video. I know it's not my usual Titanfall stuff, and you get to hear my voice. To be honest, I am getting a little bit sick of Titanfall. I've tried Apex out, but I don't think I will be making any content on it. I just don't really prefer the game. I might actually do a review on Titanfall, and then maybe some other stuff, and then I'm probably gonna chill out for a little bit. Yeah, thank you so much again if you watched the video. I put a lot of time into this video. I really, like I said, I really am a big fan of Godzilla, and this movie really disappointed me. So yeah, thanks again. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thanks for all the cool and awesome comments, like always. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, man, hey, hello from Jamaica. Hey. Listen, man, subscribe to Salty Cool Kid 101, the best channel on YouTube. Yeah, man, Baba Boy, and follow him on Twitch at Salty Cool Kid 101. Hey, bye now, my brothers. Yeah, man.